Hi, my name is Laura. I'm based on the question, how do you think the history of British culture has affected the decision not to fully join the European Union and the outcome of the current Brexit situation? Okay, so based on the United Kingdom has never been seen as a pro-European state. In fact, although in the years before the Second World War, he showed himself as a firm defender of the creation of the International Cooperation Organization in Europe. As a member of the EU, his role has been characterized by the struggles regarding the construction of the Europe. This despite the fact that at the end of the Second World War, it was Winston Churchill who defended the construction of a kind of United States of Europe to give hope and opportunities to millions of people. Despite this, the attitude of the United Kingdom was always unfavorable, since interested from far from Europe in the Commonwealth. In fact, the reaction to the creation of the European Community was the organization of the European Free Trade Association, um, which have the purpose that most interested them, the creation of the area of economical cooperation in free markets between the member states. Um, he remembered this association until his accession to the European communities, which materials allies on January 1st, 1973, along with those on Denmark and Ireland. Um, it cannot be ignored that from the beginning of the permanence of the United Kingdom in the European construction was controversial, especially if one takes into account that 2 years after its exception to materialize, the first referendum is continuity was held. Um, the holding of the consultation responded to electoral promises of the Delivery Party during the elections, which one of in power defended the retention of Britain in the international organization, an option supported by 67% of voters. Also notable leaders of the Conservative Party supported entry and permanence in the European communities, including Margaret Thatcher. But even when the common market was seen favorably, they did not miss the opportunity to show their disagreements with the functioning of the organization, verbalized in the "Want My Money Back," with which the supposed United Kingdom contributing more funds to the community budgets than it then received. Subsequent, the British government has known how to use their precautions with respect to the EU with the name of the improvement of membership status. So that with the modification of the founding treaties, the particular and differentiated status has been outlined at the center of the European communities first, and of the European Union later. Thus, not only has it voluntarily remained outside of some policies at this international organization, but it has also achieved some not unfavorable deals. Despite everything, it can be seen no so many materials areas affected by British explosions. Taking into account that the European Union supposes the existence of the single market for the circulation of goods, citizens, and capitals, as well as a large territory characterized for the right to free competition, something in which the United Kingdom fully participate. But in addition, this organization reaches on the suspected materials areas due to the level and integration that has been achieved. Um, which is why this connection or withdrawal will be an arduous task for the state of the requested. For years, the UK has had a complex relationship with the EU, with the issue of dependence versus centralization at the heart of the discussions. In early 2016, Prime Minister Cameron negotiated new special conditions for the country in case the British decide to remain in the EU. Among them, the security the United Kingdom will not be discriminated against for not being in the Eurozone. The safeguarding of the City of London has a financial center against the European regulations and limits on public aid that Europeans who were recently in the country can request. Brexiteers argue that the EU membership does enough to signal to developing the United Kingdom, that it gives more than they receive, and the European regulations, which they consider excessive, are British company. They also want the United Kingdom to regain full control of these borders and to reduce the numbers of foreigners coming to the country in search of work. Consequences of Brexit for the United Kingdom. The single market is the great pillar of the European Union, and at the heart of the single market is the free market without trade versus tariffs. But the European single market is much more than a free trade area. It also includes the free movement of goods, people, and capitals. All of that is possible not to be part of the European Union, but to be part of the single market, as the case of the Norway. Representative of Leave campaign stated during the campaign that they do not want the United Kingdom to continue being part of the ones outside. The EU, they say the country's economy is strong enough to do a negotiation agreement with the EU that allows them to access the free market without having accept the free movement of people or other. Regulations given that the United Kingdom already applies the rules of the single market, a free trade agreement in the goods between the United Kingdom and the EU will be relatively easy, but those who advocate remain reacted with considerable pessimism. During the campaign, they assured that Brexit will cause an economic crisis in the United Kingdom. A decrease in investment in the public services and foreign investment. The British Treasury Department analyzed the possible consequences and concluded that there are two possible scenarios. One of shock and the other is severe shock. Both point out to short-term recession, but vary widely and the severity. Okay, so now, what consequences will the departure of the United Kingdom has for Europe? No country in the European Union has publicly shown itself in favor of Brexit. Although there is says that the greatest impact of exit it will be in the United Kingdom. Something that the impact will also be significantly on the other member states. British consulting firm called Global Council warned that after Brexit, the EU will become a less attractive trading partner globally and lose international power. But he also said that this can be offset by greater political integration, since the United Kingdom, as one of the members most strongly opposed to greater integration, and by a more coherent foreign policy. Although other voices for the divisions with the EU go far beyond the role of the United Kingdom, and that the British departure would facilitate the growth of populist movement that already exists on the continent. Another way which Brexit can negatively affect the EU uncertainty, the process until the effective exit in the establishment that stable relationship will be linked in this full living uncertainty. Then finally, which could negatively affect European economies, according to the Organization for Cooperation and Development in Europe, OECD. This will cause a drop in GDP in European countries. So yes, that will be all. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it and have a great night.